Let's see if this works. Hello. Yes. I hope my. So, wait a second. Perfect. I hope my nose spray will work soon so that I don't sound that stuffy. Anyway, hello. A friend of mine asked me what Dharma is, or what the difference between Dharma and Karma is. It has been quite a long time uh, since I actually dived into the topic myself of spirituality, or rather living it, and not only uh, conceptualizing it and working it through mentally, but also emotionally and with the whole body. So he sort of started the conversation again for myself, not even with people, but rather spirituality and life itself, which is very cool. And I told him what just came to my mind: Dharma as a means of one's actions, both conscious and unconscious, but especially consciously with the intent of a certain aspect. Just the thing that one does is enough intent. If you lay, you lay. If you feel like resting, you rest. And karma, rather being the spirit that surrounds us, mimicking or being equally proportionate and reciprocal to what we are doing, just to understand that this is enough, and a very uh, present and compassionate force, that if we are consciously focusing just on that, we feel more enough than if we look further outward for validation. Oh, yes. Meaning, if we do something that we love, we immediately feel the love and the presence that is with us. If we sit, the spirit sits with us. If we happen to think about karma more about the past, the spirit of the past will be with us. Now, for some, it seems rather haunting and problematic to think about the spirit of the past. And if we are rather with the spirit of that tries to process a thing and work it through so we arrive here back again, we are with that. Now, there's a difference between a dharmic karma that is um, present with us, coming from our acts, and then an overall karma that is rather like fate, which adds up. If we walk through certain periods of life, experience a loss, experience pain or suffering that does not come from our act directly, in the immediate, but rather echoes through space and time, because something happened. There was a ripple, and both aim for the same thing, to let us arrive here in the present moment that is so abundant with energy we can't even imagine it and almost deny it, just to lay off our attachments and simply recharge and be completely in this ecstatic and absolute energy of compassionate love that reaches everything throughout space and time. Even our attachments from the past we held on to that come in the form of the spirit of past and reflection and what's the fancy word? I'm attached to fancy words. Reminiscence, yes. Now, some walk through it rather easily in contempt with the whole being at once. Others have to maneuver through it and are rather attached by the conceptualizing part of the mind and experience the aftermath, or rather the emotional process later on when they have moved themselves out of a situation via mental effort and attachment to that place, to only then have enough space to really process the emotional body of the experience. There is no right or wrong, but the importance is to see that one uniquely processes and is as a whole being. Now the nose is getting free. Now I feel rather free because I was attached to that. What helps is to see it in a way of a plant, there are its roots, and from the roots it works itself upwards to the leaves, and from the leaves outside again, and it just focuses on that whole flow through the chakras or the body, from the root upward to the leaves that are like lotus leaves, that are like wisdom, that receive the power of light and nurture the whole body. But we shall not even get attached to them. They help the whole body to be nurtured in light. Yet they themselves grow through time. And the more we just focus onto the wisdom and our significant traits, we grow attached, stay blocked in the mental way, and not are present, but present with the mental spirit, which is okay until we suffer and don't know how to move on or keep it flowing. And we can move our energy throughout the body, like we keep the plant in mind at first, and work through our roots, breathe in upward and move it to the stomach. We can exhale then already. Breathe into the stomach, upward, into our solar plexus, and and upward there to the heart. Let me join you. I just talked, I didn't do it myself. So into the roots, up to the stomach. And from the stomach up to the solar plexus. And from there up to the heart. And from the heart up to the throat. And from the throat up to the third eye. Out of the forehead. And from there up to the crown on top of the head. And from there, let the energy flow down the lotus leaves, down your back, like a waterfall, and back to the roots. And from the roots, if it's possible already, try to do it from the roots to the crown. And down again. And if you need a few attempts to get it going, just try to move it up where you can. And and work yourself upward. And you just reinforce the flow. And you are with the presence of the spirit of flow. And it's important to notice throughout the day how and where we breathe in. And we sometimes don't even notice it. For example, some breathe in straight from the head downward and focus themselves more on lust and the roots. Now, this isn't bad, but the longer we do it, we keep ourselves blocked and we might suffer. And we don't keep ourselves free, but rather attached to the suffering and our lust. And if we just breathe into our heart or something with our stomach, things might arise concerning our love, concerning our compassion or courage, if it's for the stomach. And we keep ourselves blocked or focused on these aspects of ourselves, and they will arise. And the spirit of that will come to us and accompany us because it loves us and is with us because we are alive and vibrate and just attune ourselves like a satellite dish to certain TV channel. And there are so many channels, so am I. And a karmic channel is one that is like cable TV. And a satellite dish, or is rather, there are a few that are pay TV. Either way, there is always coming a price, and some prices are free, some are freedom, some are joy, some are pain, some are fear, angstiness, paranoia. And some are like a nurse, a stewardess asking yourself, do you need extra leg room? Do you need something to drink? She will come and ask, do you need a massage? Do you need this medicine? Do you need this treatment? She will ask. She will take off all your burdens if you are not attached and are at least consciously present with them and understanding them in your pace, in your way. And the funny thing is, if we find out our way, how we see a thing, what makes our gears grind, our dog bark, if you can hear my dog barking, which can be annoying if you're uh, attached to the idea of peace being silence, not flexibility and flow. And so, where was my point? If we find out how we take, we find a certain value, a certain special I in us that makes this body resonate uniquely and makes us feel special and alive and true and valid. This is good because it shows that we truly love ourselves and our way. And if we find our words, we usually actually are encouraged to speak up, speak these words up, because we love ourselves and find so much joy in being them. Yet the importance is that this too is one of the last attachments, in my opinion, or just another attachment. And it makes us look for the significance. And we are not just these significant moments of uniqueness. We are human. We are more than the sum of our fractions. That makes us so special and beautiful and free actually from them, because we just happen to run into the aspects we are made out of. We meet them, but we never are them. But sometimes we are so heavily ingrained, heavily visited by the presence of an aspect of ourselves, whether it's good or bad, that we happen to think that we are this aspect, but we are not. And if we flow, we alter it. We alter that certain state and move ourselves out of it with the emotional body and with our spirit and keep ourselves free and in flow. And it comes easily with acceptance, and therefore I meant it as a last step of our uniqueness, that we just accept this ourselves by seeing our point actually and loving ourselves and accept ourselves. And that would be the next step to just stay in flow, because sometimes life throws you curveballs. Sometimes you have to do things or chores that do not resonate with this uniqueness, devalue you, dehumanize you even, because you're so attached to the persona than rather being human and the phenomena of a living organism in this whole cosmos. But it is important to see the devaluation of that, Because then again, it shows how much you value life, how much you innately know. The worth of life is immeasurable, the worth of being and experiencing it. You cannot pay that back. It is so big, you didn't even know it, and you're even scared or disencouraged to admit it. You aren't that life is so big, perhaps even bigger than you. As in the body and the attachment of an aspect. Although you may think great of yourself, it is an attachment, and you're way bigger than this attachment. When you let go, you're actually the whole thing. But this cannot be experienced and felt if you're attached that way. Yes. Now let me meditate and let that sink in for you a moment. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, especially in the spirit of flow, whatever you do, don't grow um, hesitant or like impatient because it takes you away from the present if you are dissatisfied with the uh, direct gratification not occurring of something because some idea might pop into your head and you say, oh, gee, I wish I was watching a movie with my friends right now, but I only watch movies um on the weekend and it's all just Monday and I can't just wait it. Of course I can talk with my friends right now and they could agree, but I'll make myself so focused on that and determine my worth of and my joy and presence with it. Of course this thought simply arises and but it makes us not enjoy whatever we do right now and fully indulge in it and flow with it.
it's like stretching. It's like whatever you do is like a stretching exercise that kept you at flow and was meant for you. Of course, it was meant for you too by being impatient, but it's important to notice that you are putting yourself under stress and suffering, and um, you detach yourself and isolate yourself from life and everybody and disconnect. And this creates suffering and pain. And you cultivate that too. And when you understand that things, whatever you're doing, will flow too and just run through your hand with the spirit of drawing or thinking or feeling or being angry. And you just notice it and let it pass. And if you're working on something creatively, just do it until it's done. And this doesn't come by thinking it's done, it's done by being done. Of course, you can say, stop now. But is it actually done then? Then you wonder and you're still concerned with it. But if you think it's done and force it, you suffer again. And you just let it flow there as well. And it's just an exercise. And sometimes we just fear to miss out on the thing that pops into our head because our thoughts are just that strong and intense with energy because we sometimes breathe a lot into our brain and into our head. And everything becomes rather attached mentally. And some thoughts and ideas are so strong that they bend reality, and we think have they are the most important thing to attend and experience because we happen to experience them right now with that intensity. And even if life appears different and this thought rather like illusion, we claim our thought is true and the world is illusory, which then again makes all an illusion and a lie. And mm, does not let us flow. And we are again separated and hurt and attached. And this is like the fear of missing out, but even just with thoughts, ideas, and actions. Like, I have to achieve this in life, I have to become this and that. And of course, if it's meant for you, you do it regardless. But there's a difference with it. At the end of the day, if you don't want to suffer, and it just comes if it was meant. And then you truly shine in it, and you wouldn't otherwise. And it would be just forceful and hurting you. Even in the most bizarre aspect, some people force themselves to be killers or idealize being a thug. Others are born into a mafia structure and killing people or doing certain crimes just was is coming natural to them and it is not forced and they just happen to play that part in life, as bizarre as it may sound. So yeah, you don't even, if you're attached mentally, you would already think about and wonder, why did he say that? Or why does it even, is it even like that, that people are in such structures? But then again, if you're attached mentally and see that this was again breathing through the head, you release yourself and go back into that flow and are with the presence of flow. However it came to you, it just shifts. Sometimes it's conscious and very explicit with meditation, sitting down, zazen. Sometimes it's smoking a cigar, spending time with a friend at night after having talked so long that the spirit of peace came, because all there was to be talked has been talked, and it's flushed. Sometimes it goes over when we talk into painting or drawing, and then we just meditate on that and keep ourselves again conscious of that flow. And there's again our angel that carries us, our stewardess, and our nurse. And I already felt that this podcast or this talk is almost over, but this is just a feeling, and when I will finish it is not determined by that, and we just let it flow. Maybe it's finished when I finish that painting, and it needed me that long in that state of talking into a microphone. And I thank a dear friend of mine who gave me that microphone. And it's how sweet it is that he himself said, I don't need it right now. It appears better in the hands of you. And I do this often with him too. Sometimes I buy things like a Shakti mat with to sit on and get an acupuncture stimulation, or I get some tarot cards that interest me, and I work myself with them, with my magic and my spirit, until I don't need them no more. And then, when certain people arrive in my life, it appears right to give it to them because it's now their turn. And I trust, and the flow trusts in that I give it to them if necessary and meant, and it just will occur. And some give more and some don't. And if you attach yourself more and more to that I have to be giving, you will give less and less because you force yourself, and Spirit doesn't want you to suffer and force yourself to do that in the long run. And still, I'm grateful for Him and Spirit giving me the microphone to talk, and the sweet technicians that had the idea of iPhones and computers that came to us. How beautiful that is. And how far out of our mind that may lay. And we just help each other. How much we need from the other person is just enough. If we think it has to be absolutely reciprocal with the same amount in the same way we do it, then we just wish that the other person treats us like we like we treat them, because we avoid treating ourselves right and are attached to other people in that regard. And we will get the right treatment when we detach and see that too. And for some, it seems like, what's it called in English? For some, it may seem like taken for granted because they are never or haven't been attached in that place themselves. So they always had a reciprocal love and said, hey, what does it even mean? Then this part isn't for you, but it occurs in different ways to different people. And that's all right. And that's meant so. So life can practice itself in its infinitely folded ways. It has to, otherwise it wouldn't work. And this spirit wouldn't be this God itself, the whole essence. Yeah, but it was so weird that I haven't ever talked before. And now is the right time, and that's alright. And maybe this is only a one-time thing, maybe not. But I like it. And it's cool to talk about certain things. Maybe it helps people. At least it's helping me. And I think that's important. It kills time so beautifully, and it is then with the spirit of helping others because it helps me. And I think that's important. And otherwise it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be beneficial. But I should not be attached to that. Because when you're young, and this is just what's occurring, and I'm conscious of it, and there's a certain attachment to it. Because when you're young, you wish to achieve something. Okay, everybody tries to push you and say you gotta do something, become the lawyer, become a biologist. Come on, you got so many traits in you, you know so much. And you look and you try and it doesn't work and you get angry and you internalize hatred because why doesn't it work, and you then make yourself dependent on the opinion of others because you hate yourself so much that you don't even listen to yourself or look at you for your own validation. And you don't know what's right and wrong, and you suffer because you live under this idea and concept. Yeah. And you start to look outward, what other people do and what they achieve. And you get attached and see everybody does achieve something, but I don't. And then you're with such an envious presence that hinders yourself to flow and move forward just as you are. And tr- and you distrust the way, and you suffer again because you've been attached to your friends. And what if they don't are no longer my friends when they are when they have figured it out and leave me alone, and we are present then with that emotion, and sometimes are so attached to that and so fearful and um, grasped by that mental aspect again that it might occur because the present is so strongly with us. But that's okay too, because then it was meant for us to see and understand that we were attached in that way, and it lets us detach again and keeps us flowing, keeps us drawing. See, if I wouldn't have drawn, I wouldn't even have spoken about that. Cool. Now I will be more at flow with the drawing and talk a little less. Now my alarm clock is going, but I have no image on the screen, which is not that cool. Let me fix it. Oh, I hope it recorded anyway. Because now it was just silent. And I wanted to share, and I was feeling really the presence of sharing. And okay. Perfect. Okay. And yeah, don't want to talk into nothingness like that. Of course, if you think in a Buddhist way about nirvana and everything, we are already there in the nothingness. And whatever occurs right now is just a flux, and there never can't be a nothing in that sense of anything occurring, not even nothing or voidedness. Therefore, this is this. The mind cannot imagine nothing either way, and therefore, in this world, nothing is everything. Yeah. And every aspect works like a black hole and gets spaghettified. Whatever you think about the whole cosmos of that aspect and its complete beauty is shown to you and warped into this certain globe of a morphogenetic field or imagination, and you see each aspect of it throughout the whole body of all chakras and aspects until you see you're attached again, we're hooked on it. We're suffering, isolated, and you go back and flow. And focus on the breath or whatever where the aspect of flow is right now. Breath is good, breath is easy to be done. As long as you're not attached to it. And work it through the body. I wanted to thank every listener. I wanted to thank myself for speaking. Yes. Don't force yourself to do anything, you create more karma. And I feel a certain bitterness about it when I speak on this topic, because I forced myself plenty of times for many things. And that's okay. Just don't even think about it where you force yourself, or you will be with the presence of that karma. And just be here now. Because all else is unbearable and isolating, and that's our suffering, therefore unbearable. In the long term, in the long run, and life runs forever. So good luck if you try to avoid the blissful presence of the moment. Okay, I finished drawing. I boot my laptop up again. I'm happy that I didn't do it on the laptop because then they would fail me and did it on the tablet. My mother. Thank you, Mama. Yeah, don't force yourself to do something and be at flow, and if it came out of flux, it will occur. If not, then not. And liberate yourself from the attachment of this forceful suffering, not in fear, not out of anything, but for the sake of flow. And be at flow. Connect yourself and don't go to people out of the fear of being disconnected, because then you will not feel connected away. Just be present with the flow and you're connected for all the good you ever wanted elsewhere. And keep flowing, and the things that were coming and meant to come for this body and karma will just come and flow. Thank you guys. I love you. If you want to hear more of this stuff, please tell me. And if you want to donate, you can donate to keep this alive. And if you have any requests, ideas, what I should talk about, I'm here to help too. So, just came out of the flow. So if you say something, I'll let that flow into my ways. I love you guys. I let that now tune out to a whole hour. So, yeah.